Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in Jordan hold aid distributions for the needy in Thagrat and Wadi. We get an in-depth look at the severe problem of marine debris floating onto Taiwan's shorelines. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. In Jordan, the poverty gap of the rich and poor is very wide, where the rich reside in fancy homes and the poor make do with tents and shacks. To offer these poor people some relief, Tzu Chi volunteers have been bringing them not only aid supplies, but at times free health checks as well. Here in Thagrat, Jordan, in the vast desert land, there are no stores or fields to farm. Only the poor who live in these makeshift homes. Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for these impoverished residents for the past 13 years. Today, they have brought relief supplies for 50 households. Seeing children sitting to the side, volunteers give them some candy. On the other end of the distribution, 5 doctors and 1 assistant are setting up medical equipment, readying the venue to give care recipients a basic healthcare check.
We are very happy to treat those poor people because they can't afford it. While treating them, I feel like a human being more.
Next, the volunteers head to Amman to hold another relief distribution in Wadi. The affluent Abdun houses serves as a backdrop to the distribution, contrasting sharply with the homes in Wadi made of tarp and wood. For over a decade, Tzu Chi volunteers have cared for this forgotten corner. Although the aid is temporary, the love and care provided will last a lifetime. This past year, much of West Africa was ravaged with an Ebola outbreak that has to date killed thousands. Among the many NGOs bringing humanitarian aid to the affected countries has been Tzu Chi, which carried out a 3-day distribution in Sierra Leone in March. Although Sierra Leone has once again closed its borders following another Ebola outbreak, the 15 tons of instant rice, 400 folding beds, and 500 blankets that Tzu Chi donated has made a difference in the quality of life for thousands.
Locals quickly unload the instant rice and environmentally friendly dining utensils that were sent here to Sierra Leone by Tzu Chi. On the first day of their distribution, volunteers chose to visit the orphanages and amputee camps of Allentown. There, they delivered 1,100 boxes of instant rice, helping 220 orphans keep hunger at bay. According to the WHO, Sierra Leone currently has the highest number of Ebola cases in the world. To help, Tzu Chi, the Healy International Relief Foundation, and the Charitas Foundation began to assemble aid from the beginning of the year. That aid was finally delivered in mid-March. For these distributions, the government provided a list of organizations in need. For example, the St. George's Orphanage, which was under quarantine following the passing of its director to Ebola. Now out of quarantine, the orphanage is running out of food. Thankfully, Tzu Chi was there with 200 boxes of instant rice. During the 3-day distribution, volunteers not only visited welfare organizations, but hospitals as well. They delivered blankets and, most importantly, fold-out beds to help hospitals cope with the recent influx of patients. In cooperation with other charity-based organizations, Tzu Chi was able to smoothly carry out night distributions over the space of 3 days. Although travel to Sierra Leone is once again restricted, volunteers promise to be back as soon as the country opens its doors again.
Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia discovered a bridge that connects the Sisewu township with the outside world. Upon seeing the condition of the bridge, Tzu Chi volunteers decided to reconstruct it on behalf of the township's residents. To support this good cause, Kodam 3 Siliwangi, which is a military district formation of the Indonesian Army, happily reached out with a helping hand.
The Tzu Chi Bridge is the only bridge that connects the resident of Sisewu Township in West Java with the outside world. However, as the bridge is built with wood planks and iron net, it is extremely dangerous for residents to travel on it.
We had to overcome a lot of obstacles to visit the village. We had to ride motorcycles when the cars couldn't pass through the bridge. The roads here are very slippery and steep. If it rains, the road condition will be worse than this.
Following a thorough assessment, Tzu Chi volunteers in Bandung decided to help rebuild the 42-meter-long Tzu Chi Bridge, which requires 21 days to complete. To show their support, the Kodam 3 Siliwangi troops and local residents would take care of the construction.
Kalau dari material itu semua murni dari Yayasan Buddha Suci, kemudian
Tzu Chi Foundation will provide all the building materials, and the construction will be done by the Kodam 3, Siliwangi, and local residents. We hope locals can join this meaningful cause and protect the Tzu Chi Bridge in the near future.
The Tzu Chi Bridge connects the Sisewu Township and the Nigasari village. The rebuilding of the bridge can not only improve resident safety, but also their livelihood.
Saya ini sebagai camat di Sewu.
As the mayor of Sisewu Township, I want to thank God for looking after us by holding an inauguration ceremony of the Tzu Chi Bridge. I hope residents can understand the benefit of having this bridge.
Pada pembangunan nanti.
Thanks to the support of Tzu Chi and Kodam 3 Siliwangi, residents know that in the near future, they no longer have to worry about safety when crossing the Tzu Chi Bridge.
The Bagan Jaya Middle School in Butterworth, Malaysia, recently held a Buddhist teaching class in which Tzu Chi volunteers introduced activities designed for students to experience the obstacles faced by the physically challenged. Meanwhile, in Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers in Hsinchu organized a leadership workshop in which the participants built up camaraderie and team skills.
Try walking while holding a balloon between one's chest and another person's back. Making turns is more challenging than walking straight.
I learned that when I feel like I will be losing the balloon, I can back off a little, but I still protect the balloon.
Put one's hands on someone's shoulders and marching forward with tiny steps without stepping on the paper cups on the floor. This game trains one to follow a leader carefully.
When the opportunity arises, I can lead others. If not, I can follow the leader. I think a good leader engages all in tasks, so up to 10 or 100 people can participate.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Hsinchu planned 7 group games in a workshop for the participants to learn effective teamwork.
They have fun playing the games, and they also learn to communicate effectively as a team.
From the workshop, the volunteers realized they must cooperate and work towards the same goal for them to effectively serve their communities. Turning to Butterworth, Malaysia, in a Buddhist teaching class, the middle school students watched a film featuring a handicapped girl and then joined activities to experience the obstacles in the lives of the physically challenged.
If the opportunity arises, I will help other people because I have a healthy body. I really should help the needy.
In this Buddhist teaching class held at Bagan Jaya Middle School, Tzu Chi volunteers nurture students' compassion through experiential learning. They also asked the students to donate and help the people affected by the serious Malaysia flood last year.
We planted the seeds of love in the students' hearts today and hope they will sprout and grow.
From this precious lesson, the students learn to empathize with the less fortunate and gain joy from helping the flood victims.
As the pollution of our seas continue to accelerate, Taiwan's offshore islands of Jinmen, Mazu, and Penghu are faced with what looks to be an endless tide of garbage originating in China's Fujian province. It is a battle that is being fought every day of the year, as residents on these islands struggle to find ways to combat the marine debris invading their shores.
一战古宁头，再战大二蛋，头地开上北大。
这里是古宁头战役最著名的战
This
区。
beach is where much of the Battle of Gunintou took place. In order to repel the amphibious assault by the communists, the nationalist army placed iron stakes around the shore. However, with the detente between China and Taiwan, now the only thing Kinmen has to worry about landing on its shores is garbage, and lots of it.
Just pick up any one of them, and you can see the simplified characters used in China.
We get a lot of detergent, body wash, and bug repellent bottles that wash up here.
Even on cloudy days from Jinmen, you can see the skyscrapers that are going up in nearby Xiamen. Jinmen and Lesser Jinmen lie only 10 kilometers from the mouth of China's Jiulong River. As plastic garbage flows out from the river into the sea, the currents quickly bring a majority of it to the shores of Jinmen and Lesser Jinmen.
Those living in Xiamen or along the mouth of the river just throw their trash into river. And whenever there are heavy rains or typhoon, this trash will then be blown over to Jinmen. Sometimes we get as much as 100 tons.
Every year, over 10,000 metric tons of trash from Xiamen land on the beaches of Jinmen, and several islands of the Mazu archipelagos nearest to the mouth of the Ming River all suffer from same fate.
We are here on the Mazu island of Beigan. To my right, only 10 kilometers away, lies China's Fujian province. Every day, their plastic trash will follow the currents and flow over to the beaches here. In addition to styrofoam, we also find medical waste, such as medical bottles, syringes, razor blades, and a light bulb. All of it sharp and dangerous.
尖锐性的东西会刺伤到手啊或脚啊等等，所以我们在进滩的时候也要稍微做一些防护。
From what I remember, it was never this polluted. But that started to change as China's economy grew.
From the mouth of the Ming River flows literally tons of garbage that is then carried by the currents to our beaches. This happens day after day, year after year. It never stops.
A 2015 study showed that over 8 million tons of plastic are being dumped into the ocean every year. Out of the top 10 ocean polluters, 8 are in Asia, with China at the #1 spot, discarding 1.3 to 3.5 million pieces of plastic garbage into the sea each year, and much of that ends up on Taiwan's offshore islands.
We pick up this plastic bottle of what was milk tea. The barcode is written in Chinese, but the first 3 numbers are 692, which means it was made in China.
The first 3 digits of every barcode show which country an item was made in. For Taiwan, the number is 471. For China, it is 690 and 695. Korea is 880. Vietnam is 893. A quick look at barcodes shows that most of Jinmen's and Mazu's trash problem is originating in China.
Of course, the authorities in Xiamen are embarrassed about the situation and have tried to control it, but they don't have the power to enforce rules as strictly as we do in Taiwan. And because of that, the amount that can be reduced is limited.
Regardless of where the garbage comes from, the real losers are the sea and eventually all of humanity. Looking at this problem, we see that it will need the cooperation of governments and citizens on both sides of the strait in order to truly clean up the sea and its beaches.
Next, we found out why in both Xiaolioqiu in Pingdong County and Nantou County suffers from mountains of unprocessed household waste in the area. Let's take a look. Currently, I am standing at the Nantou landfill. As you can see behind me, the trash is piled up like a small mountain. And over there, the trash has been sitting unprocessed since February of this year. To make room for incoming trash, the backhoe piles the trash up higher and higher. As Nantou County doesn't have its own incinerator site, it instead relies on nearby incinerators to help process its household waste. However, recently, those factories have put a priority on the higher-paying industrial waste. Thus, household trash has been left untouched.
The reason is that the incinerator companies that normally process household waste took in extra business processing industrial waste, and so household waste was neglected.
To date, Nantou County has accumulated over 7,000 tons of trash. And it is estimated that by the end of May, trash accumulation will exceed over 10,000 tons. This trash pileup is dangerous as well, as earlier in April, a landfill gas leakage led to an accidental fire.
The structure was damaged due to excavation and landfill gas was released. Now, if there's a spark, we will use water to douse out the fire.
To prevent further accidents from happening, water is used to lower the temperature of the landfill. But the smell caused by the rotting trash is something the residents have had to suffer from. Nantou County have already asked the Environmental Protection Administration for help to solve their waste disposal issue, but also remind local residents that sorting their recyclables and reducing the amount of trash produced is the best way to help not only themselves, but the environment as well. Meanwhile, in Loqiu Township, Pingtung County, there is 3 months' worth of household waste also piled up in the area's landfill.
以前都是由那个厂商来做处理，那因为刚好今年
In the past, it was done through a contractor. However, the former mayor didn't put this year's waste disposal funding into the budget. Our budget is subsidized by the government, so we need for the government to approve our funds before we can contract out the work.
我们要等跌倒建设基金的经费核准完了以后，我们才有办法去做发包的工作。
In the past, the township's household waste was shipped to the main island for processing by a contractor. However, with no money available, this job was discontinued. In the past 3 months, it is estimated that 350 tons of household waste and 520 tons of trash from processed recyclables have accumulated. Taking care of the problem, the Pingtung County government has sent out a cargo ship that can hold 60 tons of shipment at a time to transport the household trash to Pingtung's incinerators. Township authorities expressed that within the month, they will be able to hire a contractor and stress that in the future, if trash reaches 60 tons, it will be taken care of immediately, instead of letting it pile up like it has in the past. Students of an elementary school in Pontian district of Johor, Malaysia, recently donated the money they saved up in their coin banks to Tzu Chi. Although the students are few in number, the teachers have guided them to practice giving to help the less fortunate. While in the Philippines, an entrepreneur is also teaching his employees to contribute to society.
Being one of the largest motorcycle manufacturing companies in the Philippines, Mitsubishi Motors recycles a large amount of cardboard boxes. Edwin is being paid by Tzu Chi to come to sort recyclables here.
This job helped me a lot. Like the other people who joined the Cash Forward program, I support my family with the pay.
The company president, Eric Nang, joined Tzu Chi 5 years ago, and since then has donated the money made by selling recyclables. Furthermore, to introduce Tzu Chi to his employees, he invited Tzu Chi volunteers to give a presentation here.
We should educate our employees so they will do good deeds.
I think it's really good because it teaches everyone as employees what they can give as well back to the community.
Tzu Chi volunteers provided vegetarian food and showed the employees footage of Tzu Chi volunteers delivering disaster relief to people affected by Typhoon Haiyan. Next, The company president encouraged everyone to donate to help the less fortunate.
Even little bit helps. We should donate to reputable organizations such as Tzu Chi.
Working in a company that aims to contribute to the community, its employees have learned to open their hearts to the needs of society. Turning to Pongshan district in Johor, 5 months after Tzu Chi volunteers distributed coin banks to the students there. Today, the 21 Loyu elementary school students are donating the money they saved to Tzu Chi.
The students are too young to express their feelings well, but I can tell from their facial expressions that they are happy to save up to help the needy.
While the coin banks might not be heavy, what matters is that the kids are willing to help.
How much will you save in the future? The amount does not matter. What matters is the students' kind thoughts.
While the students are few, they have taken an important first step in leading a life of helping those in need.
To help impoverished students put their summer break to good use in Myanmar, Tzu Chi volunteers held 3 months of free tutorial sessions at the liaison office, where students learned Chinese, sign language, and sewing.
Students started to learn Chinese from Pinyin. The Tzu Chi Myanmar Liaison Office is now holding summer tutorial sessions for impoverished students. Students not only learn to read and write, but also to speak and sing.
学会了这个华语，就是多了。
Learning Chinese as their second language can be advantageous when they start to look for jobs.
有一个技能，也说是有一个能力。
Besides teaching Chinese, sewing, sign language, among others, teachers also incorporate fun and interactive games into the lessons.
After learning sign language, students will be able to communicate with deaf and speech impaired persons.
If we know sign language, it will be a lot easier to communicate with our hearing impaired or speech impaired friends. So we must try our best to learn it.
We learn a lot from the tutorial sessions. I want to thank these Tzu Chi's uncle and auntie for organizing such program.
Making the best use of their summer break, students seize the chance to learn from each other and gain valuable knowledge in the process.
In Malaysia, to help celebrate the upcoming Buddha Day ceremony, which falls in May, the students from Malacca's Parent and Child class are making meatless dishes as a way to promote adopting a vegetarian diet to more people. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching our program. See you next time.